There comes a moment in every heart when the weight it carries becomes too heavy to place in human hands. We look around, hoping someone will understand us, someone will fix us, someone will rescue us. But the truth is, if people can only hold what their limited hearts can carry, and sometimes the more we share, the more disappointed we become, not because our pain is insignificant, but because we are asking creation for what only the Creator can give. There is a secret freedom in turning inward, in bowing your head when the world feels too loud, and whispering the things you cannot say to anyone else. When you trust Allah with the parts of you that tremble, the parts of you that ache, the parts of you that you hide from everyone, you discover a strength that doesn't break when life does. Your problems are not a burden to Him, they are invitations to draw closer. Every tear, every fear, every silent scream becomes a form of worship when offered sincerely to the one who never leaves. So learn to step away from the need for human validation and instead lean into divine certainty. When you stop telling people your problems and start telling Allah you don't lose support, you gain the only support that never fails. People can comfort you, but only Allah can heal you. This truth becomes clearer the more you experience life, relationships, heartbreak, and disappointment. People can hold your hand, but they cannot hold your soul. They can listen to your words, but they cannot hear the silent storms inside your chest. They can sit beside you in moments of sadness, but they cannot enter the battlefield of your heart where faith and fear collide. At best, people can offer sympathy, temporary relief, but even the most loving human being is limited. Their understanding is limited, their patience is limited, their time is limited, and their ability to truly fix what is broken in you is limited. Allah, however, has no limits. When you open your heart to Him, you are speaking to the one who already knows the depth of your pain before you describe it. You are turning to the one who allowed this moment not to break you, but to build you. People may listen to reply, but Allah listens to heal. People may misunderstand your intentions, but Allah understands your heart even when you cannot find the right words. People may offer love, but Allah's love is the only love that carries you through nights when you cannot carry yourself. Sometimes you turn to people because you want someone to rescue you from your own sadness. You want someone to tell you the right thing, guide you, or feel what you feel. But even if they care, they can only walk with you for a while. They cannot walk us into your struggle. No one can enter your heart and replace your fear with tranquility. No one can touch your soul and pour light into the darkest corners. No one can whisper peace into your chest the way Allah can. Allah is the one who heals in ways you do not even recognize. He softens what was hardened inside you. He strengthens what was weakened. He rearranges your life, your relationships, your thinking, and your destiny in ways that no human being could ever orchestrate. He heals by removing certain people. He heals by changing your heart. He heals by guiding you back to Him when you drift away. He heals by giving you patience you didn't know you had. He heals by giving you hope when everything feels lost. And sometimes, He heals by allowing you to break, so you can rise again with a heart purified and protected. People may comfort you with their presence, their words, or their embrace, but Allah comforts you with peace that sinks deep into your soul. People may give you advice, but Allah gives you wisdom. People may tell you everything will be okay, but Allah makes it okay. People may tell you they're there for you, but Allah is the one who never leaves. When everyone else sleeps, He listens. When everyone else is tired, He gives. When everyone else forgets, He remembers. When everyone else is powerless, He is all-powerful. There will be moments when you feel alone because no one truly understands what you are going through. And perhaps that loneliness is not a punishment but a divine gift because it pushes you toward the only one who does understand. Sometimes Allah removes the comfort of people so you can taste the sweetness of relying solely on Him. Sometimes He closes doors not to frustrate you, but to redirect your heart toward His presence. And in that moment, you learn the difference between comfort and healing. Comfort, healing transforms. Comfort rests on the surface, healing reaches the depths of your soul. Comfort is human, healing is divine. When you trust people too much, you feel disappointment. When you trust yourself too much, you feel fear. But when you trust Allah fully, you feel peace. That peace is not the absence of hardship. It is the presence of certainty. Certainty that Allah is with you. Certainty that He sees what you cannot express. Certainty that His plan is better than your pain. Certainty that the one who created your heart knows exactly how to restore it. And that certainty becomes the greatest healing of all. So yes, people can comfort you. Their comfort is a mercy from Allah. But only Allah Himself can heal you, rebuild you, and make you whole again. Your heart is safest when placed in the care of the one who created it. This truth is something the soul recognizes long before the mind understands it. Every heart carries wounds, some caused by people, and some caused by life, and some caused by our own mistakes. But the heart was never designed to be protected by the world. It was designed to be protected by the one who shaped it from nothing, who breathed life into it, who knows its every beat, its every tremble, its every longing. No one knows your heart more intimately than Allah. No one knows what breaks it, what heals it, what confuses it, what strengthens it, or what keeps it awake at night. And no one knows how to hold it with the gentleness and wisdom that your fragile, searching soul needs. We hand our hearts to people hoping they will handle it with care. We trust them with our emotions, fears, secrets, and dreams. But people, no matter how loving, are imperfect. Their hands sometimes shake. Their intentions sometimes change. Their love sometimes fades. Even the kindest person cannot guard your heart from disappointment, from hurt, or from moments of misunderstanding. Human love is beautiful, but it is still human limited, flawed, and fragile. And when you place your heart entirely in the hands of creation, you will always feel a degree of insecurity, because deep down you know that anything human can be taken, changed. But when you place your heart in the care of Allah, it rests in a place of absolute safety. His care doesn't waver. His love doesn't fade. His protection doesn't weaken. When you surrender the deepest parts of your heart to Him, you build a foundation that cannot be shaken even if the world around you collapses. Allah guards your heart from things you cannot see. He protects you from harm you didn't know existed. He removes people who are not good for you. He closes doors that would have broken you. He takes away what you thought you needed only to replace it with what your soul was truly created for. Your heart is safest with Him because He knows the path it must take. He knows the storms it must endure to grow. He knows the lessons it must learn to mature. People see your actions, Allah sees your intentions. People see your face, Allah sees your soul. People hear your words. Allah hears the cries you don't speak. And because He knows the truth of you, the layers beneath the layers, He heals you in ways no one else can. When you trust Allah with your heart, you stop expecting people to be your source of peace. You stop needing their approval to feel worthy. You stop fearing their absence because you know the one who stays is greater than the one who leaves. You stop panicking when life changes because you trust the one who controls it. It is not that you love people less, it is that you love them with balance. You love them without worshipping them. You rely on them without depending on them. You connect with them without losing yourself in them. And this balance only appears when Allah becomes the guardian of your heart. He places calm where there once was anxiety. He places clarity where there once was confusion. He places light where darkness used to live. He places resilience where you felt weak. He anchors you emotionally and spiritually in ways you can't fully explain, only feel. The heart is the most delicate part of you. That's why Allah tells us to protect it, purify it, and guard what enters it. When you hand your heart to the world, it gets tossed, bruised, and exhausted. But when you hand it to Allah, it becomes steady, protected, and whole. You begin to trust His timing even when you don't understand it. You begin to appreciate His wisdom even when it challenges your own plans. You begin to surrender your desires, knowing that what He chooses for you is always better than what you choose for yours. So place your heart where it will never be mishandled. Place it with the one who created it, who sustains it, who knows its story from beginning to end. Place it with Allah, and you will find a peace that no human being could ever offer. Your heart was created by Him, designed for Him, and safe only with Him. Human support is limited, divine support is limitless. This is a reality every person learns through experience, sometimes gently, sometimes painfully. People often try their best to help, to support, to stand beside you. They offer their time, their advice, their presence, and sometimes even their love. But no matter how sincere they are, they have boundaries they cannot cross. They have weaknesses they cannot overcome. They have moments where they simply cannot be there for you, not because they don't care, but because they are human. And human beings, by nature, are finite. There comes a point where even the most loyal friend cannot understand the depth of what you're feeling. A family member may want to help but does not know how. A spouse may try to comfort you but cannot reach the part of you that hurts in silence. People may sympathize, but they cannot enter the private rooms of your heart where your fears hide, where your secrets sit, where your wounds quietly bleed. They can offer you reassurance, but they cannot give your soul the peace it is desperately searching for. They can walk beside you, but they cannot hold your destiny. They can love you, but they cannot sustain you. They can support you, but only for a limited time, in limited ways, with limited strength. And sometimes people leave, not out of cruelty, but out of limitations. Their lives get busy. Their hearts grow tired. Their priorities shift. Their understanding fades. Their capacity runs out. And when that happens, you realize something profound. Human support was never meant to be your anchor. It was never meant to carry the weight of your existence. It was never meant to hold you together. Allah did not create the human heart to be sustained by other hearts. He created it to be sustained by Him. Divine support, unlike human support, has no boundaries. Allah does not get tired. He does not change. He does not forget. He does not leave. He does not love one day and withdraw the next. He does not say, I'm too busy, or I no longer understand, or this is too much for me. His support is constant, infinite, and perfect. Not because you deserve it, but because He is generous beyond measure. He supports you in ways you notice and in ways you don't. He supports you with blessings, with protection, with opportunities, with guidance, and sometimes with delays that save you from wounds you didn't see coming. Divine support reaches you when the world doesn't even know you're struggling. It strengthens you when you don't have the energy to speak. It holds you when you feel like you can't stand. It reaches places human hands cannot reach. It comforts you in the middle of the night when everyone else is asleep. It whispers hope into your chest when your thoughts are drowning you. It guides your heart when confusion clouds your mind. It surrounds you even when you feel completely alone. There are moments in life when Allah removes human support not to hurt you, but to redirect you toward His limitless. Sometimes He takes away the hand you were holding so you can hold His. Sometimes He lets you feel the emptiness of human dependency so you can taste the fullness of divine reliance. Sometimes He allows temporary disappointment to push you toward everlasting security. Human support can lift you, but divine support transforms you. Human support can comfort you, but divine support heals you. Human support can encourage you, but divine support empowers you. Human support is a blessing, but divine support is salvation. When you lean too heavily on people, you feel shaken every time someone withdraws their support. But when you lean on Allah, you become unshakable, because your foundation is no longer fragile. And the beauty of divine support is this: even when you fail, Allah still supports you. Even when you forget Him, He does not forget you. Even when you distance yourself, He still pulls you gently back. His support is not based on your perfection, but on His mercy. So appreciate the support people offer, but never depend on it more than you depend on Allah. Because the truth remains, people can walk with you for part of the journey, but only Allah can carry you all the way through. His support is limitless, eternal, and tailored to your soul in ways no human can ever match. Pray. Silence with Allah brings more clarity than conversations with the world. There is a kind of understanding that comes only when the noise around you fades, when the voices of people quiet down, and when the world's endless pressure stops pressing against your heart. In silence, the soul finally has room to breathe, it has room to speak, and in that sacred stillness, you begin to feel the presence of Allah in ways that words cannot capture. For it is only in silence that the heart can truly hear. When you step away from people, their opinions, their expectations, and their judgments, you step into a space where your soul can finally rise to the one who created it. Conversations with the world often leave you more confused than before. Everyone has a different opinion, a different solution, a different perspective. You speak to one person and feel pulled in one direction. You speak to another and feel pulled in another. The world is loud, and in its noise, your heart becomes scattered. You start doubting yourself, doubting your decisions, doubting your path, because too many voices drown out the one voice that matters, the quiet guidance Allah places in your heart. But silence with Allah is different. Silence with Him is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is not loneliness, it is companionship. It is not withdrawal, it is a return. When you sit alone, away from the noise, and let your heart quietly turn to Him, without speaking, without asking, without explaining, something inside you begins to settle. You begin to see things more clearly. You begin to understand the wisdom behind what once confused you. You begin to feel a direction emerging inside you, not from people, but from the source of all guidance. In silence, you are not required to have the right words. Allah already knows the thoughts you cannot articulate. He knows the worries you hide behind your smile, the fears you swallow in front of others, the questions you hesitate to ask anyone. You don't need to explain your pain. He felt it before you did. You don't need to justify your tears. He counted them before they even fell. You don't need to impress Him with any eloquence. Sincerity is enough. Silence becomes a form of worship, a kind of surrender, a heart-to-heart conversation without speech. The world teaches you to constantly talk, constantly seek advice, constantly express, constantly share. But some of the greatest breakthroughs happen when you stop speaking and start listening, not to people, but to Allah's signs, His timing, His wisdom unfolding in your life. Silence sharpens your insight. It allows you to see what you couldn't see before because you were too busy listening to everyone else. It clears the dust from your heart so divine light can enter. When the world speaks, it often speaks from limited. People give advice based on what they know, what they understand, and what they think is best. Their words may come from care, but they can still be inaccurate, incomplete, or incapable of capturing your reality. But silence with Allah brings a clarity that is pure because it comes from a source that is perfect. Allah's guidance is not bound by assumptions or misunderstandings. His wisdom is not clouded by ego or emotion. And His answers do not come from confusion. They come from knowledge of the unseen. Sometimes Allah pulls you into silence because He wants you to stop depending on the voices around you. He wants to separate you from the world so He can speak to you through your heart. He wants you to realize that clarity doesn't come from people, it comes from Him. The more you turn to Him quietly, the more your heart becomes illuminated. The distractions fall away, the illusions fade, and the truth becomes visible. In silence, you begin to trust Allah more deeply. You begin to recognize His signs in your life, delays that protected you, closed doors that redirected you, losses that purified you, and blessings that came in perfect timing. You begin to see how everything connects, how everything has purpose, how everything is guided, and that clarity brings peace, the kind the world cannot give. So when life feels overwhelming, when people's voices feel too loud, when your heart feels confused, step into silence. Speak to Him without words. Let your soul breathe, because in that quiet, sacred space, He will show you what no conversation with the world ever could. Silence with Allah does not just bring clarity. It brings the clarity your heart was created for. Your problems are not a burden to Allah, but a bridge to Him. This truth changes the entire way you look at hardship. Many people think that when they are struggling, they are somehow troubling Allah with their worries, as if their pain is an inconvenience or their tears are insignificant. But Allah is not like people. People may tire of your pupil, get overwhelmed by your emotions, or feel helpless when they cannot fix what you are going through. Allah, however, never tires. He never becomes weary of hearing your voice, your prayers, your sorrow, or your hopes. Your problems do not push Him away. They pull you closer to Him. They are not a weight upon His mercy. They are a means through which He pours His mercy upon you. Every difficulty you face, every heartbreak you endure, every loss you experience carries within it a divine invitation. It is Allah calling your heart back to Him, reminding you that you were never meant to carry life alone. Sometimes you drift, sometimes you forget, sometimes you rely too much on people or on your own strength. And then suddenly life hits you in a way you didn't expect. Something shakes you, something breaks you, something humbles you. In that moment of vulnerability, your heart naturally turns toward the one who never leaves. That shift, when your heart moves from attachment to creation toward attachment to the Creator, is one of the greatest gifts hidden inside your problems. When you realize that your struggles are a bridge, not a burden, you begin to see them differently. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" And you begin asking, "What is Allah teaching me? Where is He guiding me through this?" Suddenly your pain becomes meaningful. Your tears become purifying. Your obstacles become openings. Your setbacks become redirection. Your weakness becomes a place where Allah's strength descends. Every trial becomes a moment of intimacy between you and Allah. A moment when the world becomes small and He becomes new. Human beings often turn away when you are too broken, too lost, or too complicated. But Allah turns toward you. He says in the Quran, "Anxious, call upon me, I will respond to you." He doesn't say call upon me only when your life is perfect. He doesn't say call upon me only when your heart is calm. He says call upon me and I will answer. Your problems, your fears, your mistakes, your brokenness, they do not push Him away. They are the very things that bring you to your knees. And there is no safer, more powerful, more peaceful place to be than in sincere supplication before your Lord. Think about the moments in your life that brought you closest to Allah. Often, they were not moments of ease. They were moments when you felt helpless and turned to Him. Moments when you cried and found comfort through Him. Moments when you were disappointed in people but discovered strength. Moments when everything felt uncertain, but your heart found certainty in His promise. This is the beauty of hardship. It strips away illusion and reveals the truth. Everything you need is with Allah. Your problems are also a mirror that shows you who you really are and who Allah really is. They remind you of your human limitations. You cannot control everything, fix everything, or predict everything. And they remind you of Allah's absolute power. He can change what seems impossible. He can heal what feels irreparable. He can open doors you never imagined. And He can replace loss with something far better. Sometimes Allah allows a problem in your life not because He wants to punish you, but because He wants to elevate you. He wants to cleanse your heart of attachments, strengthen your faith, deepen your reliance on Him, and lift you to a spiritual level you could not have reached without that difficulty. Problems push you to make dua with sincerity, to pray with humility, to reflect with honesty, to detach from the world, and to anchor your heart in Him alone. And that is a bridge, one that leads you back home to your purpose. So do not ever think that your struggles make you less worthy, less loved, or less chosen. In fact, they may be signs that Allah loves you enough to purify you, guide you, and bring you home. Your problems are not a barrier, they are a passage. They are not a punishment, they are preparation. They are not proof that Allah is far from you. They are proof that He is calling you nearer than ever. Your problems are not a burden to Allah, but a bridge to who? A path through which your heart learns to trust, to surrender, and to love Him in ways you never knew before. Trusting Allah transforms pain into purpose and fear into faith. This is not just a comforting phrase. It is a spiritual reality experienced by every heart that has surrendered its struggles to its Creator. Life is full of moments that leave you breathless, moments that shake the very foundation of your being, moments that make you wonder why things had to unfold the way they did. Pain comes into your life without warning, and fear follows closely behind. You feel lost, uncertain, overwhelmed. But when you choose to trust Allah in the middle of that storm, truly trust Him, not just with your words but with your heart, everything begins to change from the inside out. Pain in its rawest form feels meaningless. It feels like a punishment, like a setback, like a wound that will never heal. But when you trust Allah, the same pain becomes a tool for transformation. It becomes a teacher that softens your heart, strengthens your soul, and deepens your understanding. You begin to realize that nothing Allah places in your path is without wisdom, even if that wisdom is hidden for a time. You understand that your heartbreak is not the end of your story, but the beginning of a deeper connection with Him. You understand that your struggles are not random. They are deliberate, purposeful, divinely tailored to shape you into the person you were meant to become. Trusting Allah does not mean you stop feeling pain. It means your pain stops controlling you. It means you look at the difficulty not with despair, but with a quiet certainty that Allah is working something beautiful through it. You begin to see how every hardship has a hidden mercy, every delay has protection, every closed door has redirection, and every loss has replacement, often in ways better than you ever imagined. Your pain becomes a bridge that leads you to patience, resilience, and spiritual maturity. It becomes a place where you discover strength you never knew you had because it was Allah who placed it there. Fear is something every human heart experiences. Fear of the unknown, fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of being alone, fear of the future. These fears can paralyze you if you let them. They can trap you in cycles of overthinking, anxiety, hesitation, and self-doubt. But when you trust Allah, fear loses its power. You stop imagining all the ways things can go wrong and start believing in all the ways Allah can make them right. You stop fearing creation and start relying on the Creator. You stop living in dread of tomorrow because you trust the one who controls tomorrow. Faith is not the absence of fear. It is the decision to move forward despite it because you know Allah is with you. It is the quiet courage that rises within you when everything seems uncertain. It is the calmness that settles in your chest when you remember that Allah never leaves His servants alone. It is the strength that grows when you tell yourself, if Allah is with me, then what am I afraid of? Fear turns into faith the moment you hand it over to Him. Trusting Allah means you believe He sees what you cannot see. He knows what you do not know. He is preparing you for things you aren't ready for yet, protecting you from things your heart can't handle, and guiding you toward things that will elevate you, even if they come through difficulty. It means you trust His timing even when you are tired of waiting. It means you trust His plan even when your own plan falls apart. It means you lean on His promise. Indeed, with hardship comes ease, even when the ease feels far away and slills far away. As trust settles into your heart, everything changes. The wounds that once defined you become sources of wisdom. The fears that once controlled you become opportunities for tawakkul. The confusion that once clouded your mind becomes clarity rooted in divine guidance. You start to see beauty where there once was only sorrow. You start to see growth where there once was only loss. You start to see Allah's mercy in places you once thought were signs of His distance. Pain becomes purpose. Fear becomes faith. And your heart becomes anchored in the one who never fails, never abandons, never disappoints. Trusting Allah does not remove hardship, but it transforms your entire experience of it, turning your struggles into spiritual elevation and your wounds into windows through which divine light enters.